Good morning, folks, and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. I'm JP, and joining me on this fine Wednesday morning, it is indeed match day, folks, is my good man, Mr. Alan Stirling, and we are joined by the man of true tactics once again. It's Mr. William Glavin. Good morning, William. I hope you're well, mate.
Morning, guys. Yeah, good, thank you. How we all doing this morning?
Yeah, I'm all right. Alan, how are you, mate?
Aye, pretty good. Good to have William's expertise on. Usually we're in the pub recording and I can lean on his shoulder and have a wee glance at his homework. So I'm not be able to do it this time. So I don't know. Usually, no, in all seriousness, it's great to have kind of William's expertise on. Obviously, we try and do our best possible with tactics, etc. But I think our conversations come down to that number 8 looks half decent, whereas William's going to get into it a wee bit more depth.
Yeah.
So I looking forward to hearing it, and obviously looking forward to the game tonight. Hope you two guys are well, and everyone in the chat's well.
Yeah, and that's indeed why we've got William on here this morning, Alan. It is indeed match day, and we are getting ready to face another Champions League opponent. We always love these occasions, in my opinion, and they're all worthwhile if you manage to get the right result. So, yeah, William, as I said, it's been a wee while since we last spoke to you, mate. What's been happening? And I hope you had a nice festive season and New Year with your family.
Yeah, all good, mate. Absolutely great. Enjoyed the time off with family and the festivities and a few beers and things like that, as I imagine most people do. So, yeah, it was good to get a break. Plenty of football on as well, which is good. Obviously, no winter break this year, which obviously helps for obviously us watching it. So, no, everything's been really good, mate, and I'm glad to be back on and hopefully give a bit of an insight into young boys for tonight's game.
Yeah, 100%. That's what we're looking for, a wee bit of some juicy, detailed information regarding our opponents tonight. Before we come to that, as we always do, we'll come to some comments that have been piling up there in the comment section. Good morning to you all. Hope everybody's well. And Jem, morning JP, Alan, William, and the chat. Glasgow Celts is joining us also. He says, hail all. Jerry Burns is with us. And he calls you the maestro, William.
Oh, wow.
There we go.
Better no disappointing.
And we've got wee Wally Collins there. I know he says, good morning, hail all. And Monty as well. Good morning, gents. I don't think I've ever been called that off him, but there you go. It is morning. Plunge is joining us also. Morning, dolls and dudes. Hail. There's a wee man there, a wee skiver. Kidding on, he's busy. Can't do this. Morning, lads. Brilliant to have William back on. Morning, Hoops. P. McLaughlin also. And there's a name I've not seen in the comments before. Nikrutsu. Hope I've said that name correctly. Hope you're well, pal. Who else is with us? MD else joined it? I've not read it. No, not yet. So we will... Brian taking in the banter as per. Right, William, you just want to, if you want to kind of start us off, mate. Obviously tonight, as everyone knows, we are looking to win the game first and foremost. In my opinion, William, I think this game has got quite a big bit on it in terms of pressure for our team. We've put ourselves in a good position to be here, and I think if we don't win, then we could look at that as a massive downer for us all, represented by the club, mate.
There's a bit of nervousness about tonight's game, I think.
Yeah.
With a lot of fans. I don't personally feel that way about tonight. I think that Celtic have enough.
That's because you know what we were up against.
Well, yeah, pretty much, aye. So, but also looking at, obviously, performances have kind of dropped off a little bit in terms of levels, I would say, from the Leipzig game. Gradually maybe dropped off. But I think there's still enough quality in our side and enough of our play to really get a good win tonight, looking at how young boys play and the way their season's going at the minute.
Yeah.
So it's obviously a massive game. I think that's where the nerves are coming in, isn't it? Like it's a big game. There's an opportunity here to go through to the playoff round. Mm-hmm. You know, It's football post-January for us, European football post-January for us.
Yep.
And it takes pressure off the game at Aston Villa, which will be a good occasion. I think that'll be a great game, to be honest. But it does take a bit of the pressure off that game. So, yeah, like getting into young boys, obviously, I think most people would have probably looked at the league at the minute and seen that they're doing quite well in the Champions League. But interestingly enough, obviously, they've lost all 6 games up to this point.
Yeah.
They've lost 22 goals and have only scored 3 in the Champions League. So I'll be honest, I think young boys done really, really well in terms of qualifying through the playoff round into the league phase. Obviously got a great result at home against Galatasaray, but an even better result away. They actually beat Galatasaray away to qualify for the league phase. I think that's a massive achievement for a club the size of Young Boys. They're not the biggest club in Switzerland by far. They've been punching above their weight over the last couple of years, but I think things are starting to catch up with them a little bit. And I think this Young Boys and probably some of the other teams that are down in the sort of bottom end of the league phase, you know, your Slovan Bratislavas as well. I think them as a club are realising that how much squad depth you need to compete both at this level and domestically, because domestically Young Boys are really, really struggling. So currently they sit at the minute 9th in the Swiss Super League, which is 4th from bottom. They're really struggling and they've changed the manager. So basically they had Rafa. I don't know if people remember Rafael Vicky was a really good player for Switzerland.
I remember him. Yeah,
he done the domestic double with Young Boys a couple of years back. Really propelled them into the European football. But since then they've had 3 different managers on 4 occasions. So they've had an interim manager twice. And they've only just brought a new manager in Giorgio Contini, who worked for the national side in December there. So the Swiss still have their winter break at the minute. So they've only really played 1 game under Contini since then, which is the game we're obviously going to have a quick look at.
That wasn't even a league. Was that a league game at the weekend when they drew nothing each?
Winter. So that was their first league game back after the winter break. They obviously played a few friendlies in between. Really, I think Contini's just trying to get his stamp on the team in terms of how he wants them to play. There's only really 1 competitive game we can really go on in terms of what we think they're going to do and how they're going to set up. But as I said, I'll reiterate, they are really struggling in the league this year. I think it's a bridge too far for them to compete in both Champions level and domestically. So as I said, they've won only 6 games this year in the Swiss Super League. They're struggling to score goals and they're conceding a lot of goals. So it's not really a good equation for them at the minute.
Yeah.
A couple of things to point out. There's a couple of players Celtic fans will probably know or remember. Cedric Itten is probably their main striker, one of their main strikers who played the other side. In fact, did he even play much? I can't even remember.
I'm sure he played a few games. I think he scored a goal or 2 for them as well, maybe, if my memory serves me right. But I don't think it was that many.
No. So he's probably their main target man, unless they play Ganvula. And Ganvula's not a bad player, to be honest, but Itten seems to be starting for them just now. So, but also Saidi Yanko's actually there, who obviously was at us. I probably have seen maybe 10 years ago now when I think about that. But he's been out with a long-term injury for the whole season, so he's not played much. So, without further ado, JP, if you're okay to bring up the first sort of clip, and we'll just look at
I'll take away the banner because the banner running across the bottom won't do the video justice.
Could I ask if you just show the image first from the last game, if that's okay, mate? Which is the setup.
Hold on a wee second, mate. I'll need to get into it. Give me a second.
So basically, what for everyone watching, what we're going to look at is the last game against Winterthur in the league, which was at the weekend there. How they sort of their starting position in terms of how they set up, which is a sort of 4-2-3-1 setup. Not too dissimilar to most clubs in European football at the minute. And we can have a look at just some of the players that played in that game at the weekend.
See, overall just well JP's doing that, William. Because overall, see, I know they're not always right, but bookies have got Celtic 1-4, and in comparison to that, that's like us playing a home game against Hearts or Hibs. Do you see that as a kind of similar level that our opposition we're going to be up against tonight?
100%. 100%. I think, as I was trying to say just there, I think they've done amazing to get to this phase of the Champions League. I think they're the type of team you'd expect to go out in the playoff round. I think you'd expect, if you look at it on paper, you'd expect Galatasaray really to beat Young Boys. But they've done amazing to get a brilliant result. Yeah, I don't think the bookies are wrong here. Like, I genuinely feel tonight should be comfortable for us. And obviously, I can always explain why.
So.
Right, okay. So I've got that. I mean, up and ready. If I'll just, you want me to do it now?
Yeah, please, mate, go for it.
Yeah, no worries, no problem. Here we go.
Yeah, so this was the setup at the weekend. So the red dots obviously indicate Young Boys against their opponents, Winterheart. So as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. 4-2-3-1 formation, 2 sort of holding midfielders, 3 attacking, 77, 11 and 39. They're going to be attacking and sort of providing support for Cedric Itten. So JP, you can bring the first video clip up if you don't mind, mate, for the shape.
No problem. Maybe a second here. So, you ready now, yeah?
Yeah, go for it, mate. So this is their sort of starting, but this is right from kickoff in the game. You can just highlight the shape again. 4 at the back there, 2 holding midfielders, the 3 attacking, providing support for Cedric Itten. So that's the 4-2-3-1 shape that they're basically going to start off with. What's interesting though, if you look as the sort of game progresses here, their attacking players, they'll see that possession and they'll all push up forward. So you'll come here, it will just stop, and you'll see that there's these players here, 5 players here in basically the final third, and then another 6 player joining that. So I think there's a real opportunity for Celtic to really take advantage of that and play through that line of pressure. I think Celtic...
William, can I play that? I've got something I want to ask you. So obviously,
sure.
Can I play that clip again?
I think if they're going to start off like this at Celtic Park, we've got an opportunity to really take advantage of that and play through that pressure.
Yeah, I noticed something. Obviously, if the people in the comments are obviously still watching, I noticed something with this clip, Alan, as well there. So obviously we'll watch them starting, right? So one of their main pressers here is the lad Etan, which is top of your picture, just on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
I think he's the first circle in their kind of main half.
Yeah, further advanced.
When the ball cycled here to the right back and it comes off their player, they push in a 4, right? Right away there. See the gap between the first line that's made there by you, William?
Yeah.
But just outside the 18-yard box with A2 there. Yeah. Right away, either Callum or Hatate drop into that role, and that ball is zipped there. So that takes a gap right up. So if they do that tonight, that then creates a gap where we're actually able to get down through the middle of the field straight away.
Yeah.
So if they press like that, they're banging trouble, in my opinion, mate.
Definitely. So as I was saying, if they're going to come out at us right off the blocks and a press like that, exactly agree with you, mate. We need somebody in the middle, even between those 2 lines that are drawn on the field. If it's McGregor or Hatai getting on the ball, that initially takes away 3 players out of that basically defensive unit, and then we've got overloads basically going ahead of them. So it'll be interesting to see if they do start like that tonight, but that's exactly how they started the weekend.
It could open it up quite a lot there, because see if you get Callum on the ball there, you've seen how narrow the 4 players were. They weren't exactly wide there. I don't know if that will change throughout the clips are going to show us, William, but they look pretty narrow, so that would open up a lot of kind of space for whether it be kind of Taylor, Johnston, and then kind of
one common theme when you're going to see these clips, and for everybody watching, one common theme is it's disjointed. It's disjointed for a reason. The guy who's took charge only took charge 2 weeks ago, and he's trying to implement a pressing strategy, but not every player is switched on at the minute. You'll see that with certain nuances in the video clips, that certain players are doing it and certain players aren't doing it, which is really going to expose them. And I think we can really take advantage of that.
Yeah, there's a comment here for Ryan, William. Ryan's asking you, William, am I right in saying they are similar to us, that they take a lot of shots and try to attack a lot, so we may need to defend to be solid?
So looking at the game at the weekend, not really, Ryan. You'll see from the clips here. To be honest, they may have played like that under the last manager, but looking at the game at the weekend, they're looking to cross the ball into the box a lot. It's really getting crosses into the box rather than taking shots from outside the box. They're trying to get the ball into the box to then get a shot off or a header. That's their sort of attacking play. You can go to the next clip, mate, if you want the build-up one.
Yeah, no worries, mate. You ready for it now?
Yep, no problems.
Here we go.
It's quite a long clip, this one. So basically, we're going to this is how they build up. This is a build-up phase of play. So ball goes back to the goalkeeper. They're going to pass it short out to their centre half here, who's on the ball. The number 6 is going to drop deep into that line.
Look at that gap.
So you'll then see the player highlighted at the bottom of the screen is actually the left back. So he's doing a Greg Taylor just now, moving it in the midfield, but also trying to get forward and attack. He's one we've got to watch and contain because he just moves about the field quite freely. You also see the right back in the right of the touchline at the far side. The wide fullbacks are really wide on the field and really high up, so they try and get them involved in the attacking play. But as you can see here, it's quite patient. They're not really trying to force a pass through the middle. They're moving around. They're just shifting the ball side to side. It's not really with any great speed or purpose. You even see they go all the way back. The defender makes it right enough. So this what they're doing right now, you can see with that mistake alone, this is all new to them. So there's definitely an opportunity to expose them. Here they'll switch the play out to the right back. That's the right back on the ball just now. Players again getting on the ball, but look, it's all sideward passes, everything side to side. Look, not going forward. You've just highlighted here inside the box how contained and how tight it is in there. So they're not wanting to play balls through and maybe play 1-2s to progress the ball forward. It's all side to side. Again, there's the two fullbacks I've just highlighted there.
Yeah.
Right fullback again looking, they'll get wide and they'll just try and get the ball into the box for a header. So that will suit us because we've got, I think Carter Vickers is brilliant in the air. I think Trusty's really good in the air. If it's Scales tonight, Scales is pretty good in the air. Let them do that all night long. And to be honest, if they want to knock the ball side to side, let them knock the ball side to side. There's a real opportunity for us to sort of take advantage of basically how they're playing, but also you can see it's a new sort of philosophy they're trying to get used to there at the minute.
Alan, is there anything in that clip you want to see again, specifically?
No, they look kind of slightly anxious and pedestrian, I'd say. They don't look very comfortable as a team. I think Williams probably hit the nail on the head there with obviously the new coach or manager coming in. That they don't really look properly organised, shall I say. Obviously, we'll see it different tonight. It's had a wee bit more time to kind of work with them. We don't know how much you can do in that kind of space of time. I wouldn't think too much, but I'm quite confident going into the night, and I'm starting to get more confident when we're watching these clips because they don't look like a team that they've got a lot of kind of emphasis on going and kind of beating the opposition, basically going on the first couple of clips. So here's hoping they play like that.
I'm going to go through it again because I'm going to talk to you, William, regarding certain scenarios in this build-up play where I think we can really, really do a bit of damage to them here. So I'm going to play it again for everyone. So obviously here, as you see, the boy passes it back to the goalkeeper. Now, look at the size of the gap straight away there with the lad. Well, you're highlighting that, William. Look at the gap there straight away, where normally we would have Maeda and Kyogo really, really putting pressure in there. Because see if they do that tonight, lads, the IQ of Kuhn, Kyogo and Maeda, they will here, let's get after this mob. And that's just the way that's going to happen.
Even that pass there, see the pass across the park there? That could have been intercepted by maybe Kyogo or Maeda.
That's what I'm saying, and not even that, then you've got like Engels and Hatate also like to press forward. They will just put pressure on that all night. William, I actually think a lot of that, see that kind of midfield play they're trying to do there. I actually think, as Ryan says in the comments here, I've not put it up because obviously we're chatting about this just now, but I think Arnie Engels is all air some of that latter ash. He's running power and the way he covers the ground because they're not going to get to do that at Celtic Park.
No,
and if they do, they'll just get pressured out of it.
So the young boys here are actually playing at home in this game. And you can see the away side, I'm not really pressing them. It's all really, we'll just sit back and just let he's playing. I think if we put pressure on them, you've already seen the number 23 try and pass the ball back to the goalie. You've seen a couple of passes. You can see a couple of passes in this passage of play that really aren't accurate and not really hit with a lot of purpose. I think if you put them under pressure, that gets worse. So I think your midfield could really run a riot tonight. If the thing is, we've got to perform to all levels in tonight's game to really take advantage of just how they're a bit fragile just now, young boys, I would say. I think that's probably the best word to describe them.
I mean, Hanover and Ludogorets beat them in their pre-season, their kind of wee mini pre-season
And the
games
friendly.
that they were playing there in the friendlies, aye. So they've not really won that many games consecutively now either. So they're not in a bit of a flow there, William, whether they're used to winning
Am I right in
games.
saying the last game of the Champions League was 5-1? They get beat off Stuttgart.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in turn,
they went 1-0 up.
Stuttgart also get beat 5-1 off Sparta Prague. So when you look at that kind of that passage of form, it doesn't look very promising for young boys whatsoever. So it's every avenue I'm looking down at how kind of positive we are about a result tonight. It does look extremely positive for us kind of tonight. I don't want to take it to engrappling football, but
no, it does. But
it looks
think
like a good opportunity, shall we say?
Tonight, Alan, I think the night there's pressure on us because we now need to, the way results have went now, we need to get this victory in order to make sure we're at the next stage. Because I've looked on the table and I think somebody put it in the comments, a win tonight does that for us, regardless now of what happens.
Did I not read something about if Zagreb won or something? If Zagreb beat Arsenal, then it wouldn't be confirmed until the following round of fixtures, but that's obviously unlikely for Zagreb to beat Arsenal.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. They are in around. Well, Man City and PSG are playing tonight as well, and both of them are below us in the table.
Right. There is a permutation for that, Alan. I've read that could happen, but you'd like to think that Arsenal would be able to beat Zagreb. But I suppose stranger things happen in European football. But I think the key thing for us, we've just got to dispatch this team tonight, and to be honest, we should. Like that's my complete opinion. This is probably the easiest game of the entire league phase round for me, purely because not because of who young boys are, it's because of where they are in their season. You know, the managers this season. This is their manager just came in 2 weeks ago. He's only really just started implementing a strategy that looks different to how they played before, because you can see there is nervousness in their players and try to adjust to this system.
Right. Okay.
Happy for the next one, JP, if you want to go for it.
Okay. So the next one's the way they shape up defensively.
Yep. So defensively, I'll just let you do it. Sorry. Defensively, you'll see here though how they basically structure their defensive unit. It's basically like a kind of 4-4-2 they almost drop back into. So you'll see it getting highlighted up here. The two lines are 4, and you've got the two players just further ahead. So, but you can see here wing backs engaging and creating space in between the fullbacks. The fullback and the centre back. So there's a lot of space down the half spaces there that we could basically exploit. Guys like Maeda and Kuhn could get into those spaces and really cause problems for them. You can see the same thing here again here, sort of 4-4-2 setup in terms of their structure. But what's interesting is watch how they press here. The midfielder that's deep is going to run and press forward. You just highlight him here.
Where's he going, man?
Space in between the lines that we could really exploit. Look at the gap that's been created just with him running forward. He just ran forward out of position.
Just like really, he was chicken, isn't he?
But really, his defensive unit should be pushing with him, JP. Again, fullback not looking behind him. This happened a few times in the game. We could be getting Kuhn on the ball down that wide area.
That's what I'm saying. I know the boy on the right-hand side over here towards near us, he's the exact same. He switches off and lets the guy run off him as well.
Yeah. So there's real opportunities. You can really pick a lot of holes in how they set up defensively at the minute. You can see here, look, they lose possession quite easily. There's how they regain the possession. They're all over the place here just now.
The number 6 there, the minute takes over the number 6 position there, William. Actually, just when they lose the ball in that passage of play, he just gives in and stops.
Aye. That happens a lot, by the way. That'll be covered in the transitional bit. But mate, look at the chance to Winterhard doing the
Jesus
target there. But I think JPC, if you just play that clip again, I just want to just reiterate the massive gap in between lines is frightening. Because what's actually happening, I don't think it's not as much here. That basically, watch the fullback. The fullback will engage with the winger here, and the number 4 there. You can see centre back. There's a massive gap created there that the Winterhard player runs into. There you go. There's a gap. So it goes to the next clip. You'll see the two banks are 4, and the midfields push up, but the defensive unit doesn't move. Because of that, there's a huge gap in between there. That's guys like Engels, Kuhn, Maeda, all getting it. Even Kyogo dropping deep into that position. Real big opportunities to get at that defensive unit. As you'll see here, the deepest midfielder, he'll sprint forward, press the number 8, Winterhard, creates that massive gap.
Jesus Christ, look at the gap in there, man. And that's usually where Callum floats into, William, to pick up our balls.
Yeah. So you can see there's disjointedness between the defensive line and the midfield line for them.
Look at the fullback. He's in the boy on the right hand side. He just lets him run off him and run inside with the ball. He's jogging.
Let's try it back in the position where that's not a priority. There, you would
He's
say.
but Alan, he's not even trying to get into his own position. He's running into somebody else's just to try and shut the door. But the door's wide open at the other side.
Yeah. Obviously, they try and play their way out of danger. Don't do it. Then 3 players chuck it effectively. Then they're all over the place here. Players are moving around.
The boy on the left, he's just jogging in. Somebody else will do it. You know what I mean?
Got the space the winger's got there. He gets enough space to get the ball in.
Well, they won last game, but not did they? Right?
No, they drew nothing each. That was a game for the weekend. Aye. The
Aye,
team in the grey is Winter, thingy. What's their face? Winter.
Winter. Aye, they drew with them at the weekend, mate. So Winter aren't the greatest side either, but really they should be hitting the target with an opportunity like that. So that's the frailties they've got defensively, and it's frailties that a team like us would really exploit. So I'm expecting us to get a few goals tonight. Definitely.
We should win. They're drawing like Leeds with a team out of Game of Thrones, you know what I mean?
I knew it. That's something.
Is it not a Winter? The Winter Jail or something? Is it not going up Great Western Road or something? Winter Jail.
Winter Jails, aye.
Winter Jails.
Yeah.
Just at Queen's Cross area.
Aye, up at the Queen's Cross. Right, what we going to next, William?
Attack, mate. Well, let's look at how they attack. Attacking phase.
How they attack. Okay, dokie. Here's the attacking phase of play.
So you can
this is a shorter clip, this one.
Yeah, so basically, congested area of the field. So what they'll do is they'll change their angle of attack and they'll switch it over to where that circle's highlighting the field. So they'll look to go side to side as much as possible, really, to try and change that angle of attack and sort of spread you around. But again, it's very patient play. It's really try and get the crosses into the box. They don't move the ball very, very quickly. Here you'll see the left back getting involved. So this is the guy I'm going to highlight here. This is the left back for them. He really likes to get forward, tries to get in the box and basically put crosses into the box. But essentially, that is it in terms of how they attacked at the weekend. It wasn't really
a lot of purpose, to be honest, in their play.
Again, Winterhurst sort of sat back and it was really come and try and break us down, but they don't try and break you down. They just try and put balls into the box. So I think tonight there's not a lot to fear in terms of that's their approach. I think you can see from how they pass the ball, they're not totally confident on the ball. Some players, they're sort of miscontrolling it or overhitting a pass. So they're really going to look to try and take advantage of putting crosses into the box. But again, we should be able to deal with that pretty easily.
Yeah, 100%. I just can't get the amount of gaps you leave in their actual.
So that's I would say, JP, that's probably normal for a team that's not used to pressing the way they've been asked to press.
Well, so did they used to play a different way then under a previous manager?
They must have, because you can see, like, if you take a kids team and tell them how to press, it takes a few games for the penny to drop. When he goes, you push up. You can see that's what's happening there, but you can see
it's completely changed.
It's obviously the strategy has changed, so you can see that there's mistakes being made, which is normal because they're trying to learn it. So, but again, I think it's an opportunity for us to take advantage of it.
As Ryan just said there, it looks like they're very vulnerable, William, as they look like they'll make a lot of mistakes.
They're fragile. They're struggling in domestically. They're struggling in European football. They've had 3 managers this year. I think they're it's really just like get to the end of the season and reassess and reevaluate, I think. So, as I said, I think as long as we perform, it should be pretty straightforward for us.
We comment here for P. McLaughlin. He says, young boys used to be all-out attack domestically. Surely no, because then that muscle memory would be there for them, the attacking phase of play.
Yeah, you would think, unless they've been told to do something different, mate.
I don't know how far back he's talked about, but it could be kind of a few years ago when they were in.
Aye, they may have different players in there, because I know the big boy, is it Enciala and all that, they all used to play with him years ago, and they're not with him now.
Done the domestic double in 2023 with Raphael Vicky, and I'm pretty sure they would have been better at attacking, but obviously players move on, systems change, coaches change. I think they're going through a sort of...
Because they used to have that boy we were after as well. What's his name? He's at Stuttgart now.
Who's that?
Fabian Rieder.
Oh, aye. Yeah.
That's his name. He played with him as well, aye. A young lad. Played at I'm sure he played at the World Cup for Switzerland. Or the Euros even.
Should I say? The Euros, the COVID Euros, wasn't it?
Aye.
Aye.
I didn't realise.
No, last year he played at the Euros last year.
Was
Aye. He was at the Euros with Switzerland. Aye.
Yeah, they're definitely a team in transition at the minute, so it's a good opportunity to play them.
He comments for John here.
Swiss.
He said, "I said at the start of the season we're the team everyone wants to get. We've been dug meat in Europe for years, so don't get ahead of ourselves. A few decent results doesn't mean we've turned the corner. We've certainly, listen, but anybody, Stevie Wonder could see, in my opinion, lads, we've certainly progressed. Because
we're happy that extremely lucky as well with the draw. I think that's the most favourable draw we'll ever get in anybody's lifetime. I think that's massive. Obviously, we can only play what's in front of us, and I think our performances have kind of
and the new format helps.
The new format
that's been a massive help. That draw.
You're not playing Real Madrid back to back. Do you know what I mean?
But you've played. You've played Dortmund, Atalanta, and Leipzig more or less back to back, and we've took 4 points from 2 of the games. So by the way, we're one of the only teams to go to Atalanta this season and keep a clean sheet.
See, the thing as well,
they won 5-0 last night against Sturm Graz as well.
Yeah. But see for teams like Celtic,
and we played well in the game, as everybody saw. I mean, we had to change the way we played, but we also, but again, I'll always say it, and I've been vocal on here regarding it. We can only beat or try and do our best to what's in front of us. See all I saw, we've been lucky. No, I'm not buying into that. I'm sorry, I'm not buying into that at all.
It's not for the next few years, but I mean,
no, 100%. I understand what people are saying in terms of it. Celtic haven't been lucky. We've had to do our job, and we've won games as well this season. I think is that 4 games in a row now we've not been beat at Celtic Park?
But
that's good going considering the record there before.
That's where the luck came in. Before we even played a game, that draw, we could all see it. I mean, you see some of the nightmare draws that some of the bigger sides are even getting. They're playing kind of top sides back. Look at the Leipzig, the draw they got. They're playing. I can't remember off the top of my hand, but the top of my head, but they were playing kind of top side after top side.
Yeah, but Leipzig
and it's been very favourable for us. I think we all realise that, but at the same time, you can only kind of do your best to
also. What I was just going to say was, if you take Leipzig as an example, Leipzig are playing against good opposition nearly every week in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, 100%.
Celtic are maybe going to Ross County or maybe going to St Johnstone and then having to go and play Leipzig the week like 3 days later.
Yeah,
that was really difficult to go from that, the level in Scotland to the Champions League, which is the elite level. Big teams are doing that every week, and I think in better leagues. So I think your Sturm Graz's, Celtic, even Club Brugge, Dynamo Zagreb, it's really hard for them to really jump to that elite level in terms of playing at those elite level teams, because obviously they're playing teams at a low level every single week. So
yeah, that's why it's even more impressive in my opinion, William, when we do go and do these things. But we've got to look at the level of opposition we're up against week in and week out. And by the way, what William's saying there, that's no disrespect to Ross County, Dundee, because these teams are good teams. They're operating at what they can. Nowhere near Celtic's level in this league. Yeah, but Celtic are having to jump up more than one level to go and play and do well against these teams. And by the way, we absolutely annihilated Leipzig at Celtic Park. That was 3 going on maybe 5 or 6 that night as well. So the scoreline for me flattered them that night. Yeah. And it was a great performance. But you've got to remember what you're up against weekly as well. I'm not buying into this fan saying it's lucky. It's Celtic have done remarkably well to do what they've had to do this season. Like I said, so many teams will go to Bergamo and keep clean sheets. No, I know what you're saying in terms of the draw. In terms of the draw, I get that.
We could have had a far tougher challenge than we've got just now. It's no lucky that we've got the points. I'm saying the draw and the level of opposition that we've been drawn against, it is extremely lucky, because you look in comparison at the teams that we could have got. I don't think you could have handpicked a better draw than the one we got, probably.
No, probably not.
It was very fortunate for us to get that kind of draw. But we take that in. That's a great thing that we're able to. This is maybe a turning point for us in terms of Champions League. Years. This is the first time in 11 years we've got the opportunity to progress into a knockout phase for the Champions League, I'm sure. We are taking advantage and maybe that favourable draw. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying we'll be lucky on the park. I'm saying we're lucky before this competition even started because of the draw that we actually got. But we can only play what's in front of us, as you says.
Yeah.
But I do think there's a lot of fans, as William says, that probably underestimate the actual level that Celtic need to take their game to go and get these results and perform at that level. I think a lot of fans are just, oh, we could have done this, we could have, well, so could have, would have. A wee comment there for Barry McCandless, actually. Could have, would have. We have one game to reach the knockout phase, like we say here in Glasgow. Never forget your old arse. Hail, hail.
We'll put ourselves in a fantastic position. As William says, this is probably going to be one of the easier games that we play in this competition. So we've put ourselves in a position that we're basically qualifying if we get 3 points at home against the best kind of opposition. So we've put ourselves in an absolutely fantastic position. That's why the pressure's on as well, because we're looking at this and we know that this is a team we should be kind of brushing aside. And for the place that we've put ourselves in, for all the hard work that we've done, we need to make sure we get the win tonight, because if we don't, it could be viewed upon as quite the failure no qualifying because of the great work we've done in the position we've put ourselves in.
100%. I think even myself and I'm probably one of the most positive people on this channel. A lot of the time, even when things haven't been going good and I'm trying to see the light in it all, but I agree. I think, obviously we'll get your take on that, William, but obviously I do agree. I think if we don't win tonight, then all the hard work you've done and going to Bergamo and beating Leipzig and getting the kind of results, it doesn't really go for anything then, because you've no then went over the final hurdle.
Yeah, and that's where the nervousness comes in with everybody, because everybody's like, it's going to be, we're going to fall at the final hurdle pretty much. And but I think there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic about tonight. I think given what we've just looked at in some of the clips with young boys, where they are domestically, where they are in European football, in terms of the Champions League performances this year, they've barely scored any goals. They've lost 22. We're a goal-scoring team. We should be beating them 3 or even 4-0 tonight. Honestly, like that's the way I look at this game. We've got to be the job for the coaching staff, for Brendan and his team, is to get the players up for it and motivated for it. Which you should think Champions League nights at Parkhead, they should be getting motivated up for it.
Yeah.
But everybody needs to be up for it. Everybody needs to know how to do their job, and we need to move the ball a lot quicker as well. If we can do those things and hit our performance levels that we know that we can play at every week, I don't see any issue with us beating them tonight. It'll be a massive shock if we don't, for me, purely based on everything we've looked at.
Yeah. Obviously, there's some more we're going to
have the last cup transitions, mate. This will be interesting for people looking at tonight, and it'll give you a feel of really the mentality of this team tonight as well.
Yeah. Here we go.
Go for it, mate. When the ball turns over from one side to the other, so you'll see here.
I think we might have lost William. It looks as if he's frozen. But
just as I watched that first part and like a previous clip, it does look as if they tend to hunt in parks as well a bit.
Yeah.
But it's William, I think we lost part of your audio there, mate. So we're maybe going to need to replay that audio, because we can hear you now. But when you started chatting there, your thing just froze on us there.
That's fine.
Right, so we'll go at that again. Alan, you're bang on. It's headless chicken stuff, man. But it looks at this the way I seen that there. Hold on.
Right. So if you look, the ball goes long here, and then the ball will fall to a Winterhart player. But there's 4 players for young boys that don't react to it. So the 4 players are ahead of the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go.
They just
not really reacting. Also, I'll highlight a Winterhart player. That's probably the pass he should have made to this player that I've highlighted. He actually gets on the ball at that point. But you can see there's not a lot of urgency with them. Even here, there's the 4 attacking players in the field. Nobody's putting any back pressure on that central midfielder.
Jesus, we're away.
2 strikers against 2 defenders. They're getting 2v2s. You fancy Kyogo and maybe Kuhn or Maeda really exposing that. Getting in behind them. So
this is where you might see the pause for Real Hatate and Kyogo working the night.
Exactly,
that
mate.
kind of play,
Exactly.
I think that's they've got a certain kind of telepathy between each other that they play the kind of balls and that kind of open space. If that's anywhere near that tonight.
But also, Alan, like look at that one player got on the ball and nobody's putting any pressure on behind them. How much space and time does Hatate or anybody need to really play a ball through? You know, to take advantage of it. Or you have McGregor driving forward, trying to get another player to commit, and then knocking the ball through and getting Kyogo one-on-one with the goalie. So transition phase, they're struggling a little bit there. There doesn't seem to be any urgency about really hounding the ball possessor. Don't get me wrong, when they do press, it's 2s and 3s, but I think it's 2s and 3s because nobody really knows who should be pressing. Again, it comes back to that, they're learning a new pressing strategy, and they're struggling a little bit with it just now. So again, we can take advantage of that.
I'm just going to play that again, so obviously.
Sorry, William.
No, you go.
There as well. It wasn't as if the opposite team were on a kind of crazy fast counter attack.
No,
and their defence looked flat-footed there. They looked
completely.
as if they were caught off the mark. It was that's what I'm saying. It wasn't as if it was a rapid kind of counter attack. So that did look quite strange here.
The side they're playing were really pedestrian in the game, and it's complete opposite to how we're going to play tonight. So that's why I'm saying we'll really be in their faces. We'll be really putting balls behind them, really causing them a lot of problems. But just from that transitional clip, again, if you want to play it again, JP, you can go, mate.
Yeah, I'm actually going to talk to you about a passage of play I've seen there, but I think we will really, really exploit, and we'll see it here. So obviously, as you said, William, they go long, and then the ball falls to a winner player. We'll see the four here that's taken off the game, the one that you've circled with the winner player. If that's Callum or Hatate, that ball is captured and then it's cycled either through the mid-sixes or it goes to wide. And when it goes to wide, 3 and 4 of us move at pace, Engels included in that running. Mm-hmm. So we've then got we've probably got an extra overload on this passage of play we see here.
The guys like we have Johnson pushing forward here at this point.
That's what I was going to say. So see that just before that passage I play when the left fullback steps in the field as if he's becoming the left centre back.
Yeah.
Alistair Johnson and Nicholas Kuhn are going to burst down this right hand side. And then Kyogo is going to be looking for that ball across.
See, when you think about it, that passage of play we've looked at there in the floor, young boys players are really just walking back. Your defensive line are going to be way ahead of him because your guys will just push right up. When your team moves forward, everybody moves forward. So they'll just be sort of walking back and just going, right, fine, not really bothered what's happening. So then we'll have a massive overload going forward into the attacking third that we can really take advantage of. So, as I said, I think they're definitely a team very much in transition. You can see there's fragility within it. And really, for me, it makes me feel comfortable about tonight's game, to be honest.
If they are fragile and if they are the most experienced team, shall we say, the players, that kind of atmosphere tonight at Celtic Park as well. And if we get an early goal, that could really freak some of them out and really kind of get to some of the players if they're feeling that kind of unorganised, that fragile, that kind of change. They're no kind of confident whatsoever. So, I just hope we could get the fans kind of on their back as well, and let's make sure we make this night a great one.
Get behind the team and push them on, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. You going yourself, William, to the game?
No, I'm not, mate. So I'll watch it at home tonight, mate. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like as I said, I'm looking forward to tonight's game. I'll be interested to see how we shape up and how in terms of the lineup, stuff like that. But yeah, as I said, listen, we've got to. It's in our hands, innit? Everything's in our hands tonight. We just need to take it. And I know there is nervousness of falling at the last hurdle, but listen, I feel more comfortable the fact that young boys than Aston Villa at this game. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think we should do well tonight.
Well, looking at the Aston Villa result last night, it's going to look like they need points going into the game against us in order to really cement their qualification, depending on other results tonight as well. Because teams like Brest and Monaco, and I think they've moved closer to Aston Villa, and I think Brest play tonight as well. So if they get a result tonight, they might leapfrog Aston Villa with some points. So I do think Aston Villa, if they've any aspirations of getting into the top 8, then I do think, I know they're 8th just now as the table sits, but they are going to have to need points.
They want to win, want they, at home as well? Do you know what I mean? They want to win at home, I think, irrespective of Aston Villa. But again, the Aston Villa have been a wee bit inconsistent this year. Again, it could just come down to the fact they're playing Champions League football and Premier League football every week. They're sort of adjusting from a squad perspective, trying to rotate the squad, keep it fresh. I think it's a big challenge now, especially there's more games now in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Man, you can see there's a lot of injuries at a lot of big clubs. Obviously, Spurs is probably one, talking about Ange, but though that European football, more games, Premier League football, especially through the Christmas period, takes a big toll on players. That might be a reason, the fact that our performance level has tailed off a little bit. Just the amount of games that players are playing at the minute, amount of minutes that are getting played, and the intensity of the game as well. So, yeah, I think it'll be an interesting game tonight. But as I said, I think we should have enough to do it, and hopefully we don't leave it to go to Villa Park and try and get something. Yeah,
Alan, obviously your own take there, mate.
Yeah, I think it's paramount we get the 3 points tonight. I don't think any of us can underestimate kind of the qualities that Aston Villa have got, the players they've got. I would like to think we go down there and play our game and play well after tonight. But it's going to be a big task to beat Aston Villa, because I think they've watched them a few times. Aston Villa are very well drilled side. Unai Emery, there's no doubt about it. He's a great coach. He's done fantastically well to get Villa up to these standards. So it's definitely a game we must win tonight, because I think we would be kind of clutching at straws going down there needing a win. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it would be a very stiff task to ask Celtic to go down there and pick up a win. So let's stay comfortable. Let's get it done at home tonight, and then that means we can get into the last game pretty comfortable. We can relax, play our football, and see where we stand against teams like Aston Villa.
Yeah. Well, what's been your take on Celtic leading up to tonight? How have you seen it?
I was at a couple of games over the Christmas break. I was at the Boxing Day game and the one just after New Year.
Okay.
Looking, obviously, it's good to go along to Celtic Park, because you do get a good view of exactly how they're playing. Look, I think there's definitely been a dip in performance levels. I think there's certain players in the team that are not reaching the levels that are required of Celtic. I think Adam Ida's probably one of them. I don't think that he's definitely not performing at the levels he was showing at the end of last season. You could maybe argue because he was on loan looking for a contract, and mentally that could be one of the factors that's doing it. But I think he's definitely got a confidence issue at the minute. He really needs to improve his performances drastically. I don't know whether he'll even play. I don't think he'll play tonight, but maybe in the league games going forward, if he gets an opportunity, he really needs to take it with both hands. And that means if he comes off the bench, he's scoring goals, because he's paid goals, really, isn't he? But I think overall, our performance levels have dipped a bit, but we're still getting results. I was really disappointed with the Rangers game. I felt that we never even turned up.
We never even got off the bus, did we?
No, we didn't. Mentally, we weren't even there. They get an early goal. As soon as they get an early goal, it puts the pressure on us. And especially when I don't care what anyone says, I think the fans make a massive difference. The fact there's no fans there, for both sides, for Celtic Park, I think it's a massive hamstring for a team to go away and play in a cauldron of atmosphere against your rivals. I think it's so difficult mentally. So it's even a bigger achievement if you do get a result. I would have taken a draw in that game, but as I said, we never turned up. So other than that, I think we're still getting wins, but I'd like to see us really pick up our performances and just start motoring on now towards the end of the season. Listen, we've obviously won the League Cup, Scottish Cup, league's looking promising. You know, I'd love us to do the treble again this year. But I'd really like to see us do well in the Champions League. I want us through to this next phase to see that, you know, from last season there's been progression in European football. The format helps, yes. The draw helps. Do you know what? We'll take it, because how many years have we been in Europe and we've always got hard ties or hard groups, and it's like, how the fuck do we go to this one? So I think we need to take what's up against us and really do well and progress forward. But yeah, as I said, performance levels have dropped. But again, it can come down to the amount of games that we're playing at the minute and try to manage our squad. I do think there's a
lot of chopping and changing happening as well, isn't there, William? And obviously, we've seen relationships with Kuhn and Johnson and Hatate and Kyogo, like Alan mentioned, and then there's others down the left, and that's been kind of been getting used sparingly because of the amount of games, as you said, we're playing.
And there's little knocks getting picked up. You know, Kuhn and Maeda were picking up knocks. Johnson had an injury. You know, we're trying to obviously manage the squad as best as possible. I think I'd like to see us get a couple of bodies in January to really help us. I'd love to see us get a winger in. Hopefully Tierney comes in as well. Obviously the ongoing scenario with Greg Taylor. It looks like Valley's going to go as soon as Tierney's in the door effectively. So
I actually think that might happen quicker, mate, after tonight even. I think the idea was just to keep him for tonight and then move him on.
Yeah, so I'd like to get that done as soon as possible. Potentially even look at another striker coming in, but I think strikers are really, really difficult to bring in January. You're either going to bring one in that's not really played a lot of football, or you really need to go out and spend big money to bring somebody in who's scoring goals somewhere. So that isn't an easy chance. The boy Kenny's there. I think there's an opportunity for him maybe to try and stake a bit of a place in a team, especially in the league games coming up, or even the Scottish Cup games coming up. So yeah, that's basically how I've seen it over the last couple of months, mate, since I was last on.
Yeah, pretty much similar, mate, to the lads here. The way things are going. One thing I do want to, obviously, before I ask you about tonight's team and what you think there, I want to say a massive well done to Celtic. Breaking news before we just came live, I think it happened moments before we came live today, is that Kasper Schmeichel signed a contract extension to the end of, or the summer of 2026. So I think that might be some good news for us as well, in order to retain his services for another while, Alan.
Aye, so we knew we signed him, we had that kind of option there a further year, obviously, if both camps kind of agreed on that. So, aye, obviously that option's been exercised now, and for how well Kasper's done coming in this year, I think every Celtic fan's going to be happy about him staying on for at least another year. The way Kasper looks just now, I wouldn't be surprised to see him. We'll judge it obviously next year, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him kind of play on for another kind of 2 or 3 minimum years. I think it still looks pretty well as a goalkeeper for us, and if he's keeping up that level of performances, I wouldn't be adverse to keeping them on longer than 2026. So it's a good kind of contract extension, but as William says, I think we need a bit of freshness in the door. It's getting to what we're on the 22nd of January. So it's creeping up. I remember this. Saying Ryan phoned me yesterday, and I was saying about this last year. Mind, we were talking about Lauren Shankland on the 30th. It was linked with him coming to Celtic. It was like this last year. So I wish they would do this and just get some players in.
As William says, he was talking about the position there, Alan, of needing a striker, and you're either going to go 2 ways about it. You're either going to go and spend big money on someone to bring him in, or Adam Eder, he wasn't playing a lot of football at Norwich at the time, so that's exactly the route we went last January window, so we might see something similar.
If I'm looking for a striker that kits Garden or whatever, he's seemingly gone to Frankfurt. I read that yesterday, that he's been linked with Frankfurt. So
yeah, but someone at Frankfurt rubbished it right after that link came out, apparently. Somebody at Frankfurt said it's rubbish.
Well, it's that. Is it Florian Peterbuck? He's usually quite spot on with some of his news he comes out with that guy. So we'll see what happens, but I think we definitely need a minimum of one winger. I think I've been saying for the last since the summer, basically. I don't think we've got Kuhn and Maeda, the two of them. When you look at the squad depth below them and that the wing position, there is a big drop off in quality when you're looking at the likes of kind of Palmer and Yang. I don't see as massive drops off in quality in other positions, but you see that it's big there. So I think we need a minimum of one winger in. I'd probably be looking for 2, but I doubt that's going to happen at this late stage.
We were
obviously if Tierney comes in, then
I read the other day we were linked with the lad in Norway, Sondre Orgesæter, from Glavin. He's an exciting player.
For what I know, William, that's quite down the line of I've been my informed opinion of that. I've heard that's went a bit further than just a bit of hearsay.
I saw a bit of him not the elite season last year, 2023 elite season, because they play through the summer calendar year. And he had a lot of talent, but he was a bit raw. But when I'd watched a bit of him at the end of last year, and he had a really good season at Sarpsborg, who are not a good team. Like, they're like kind of mid to bottom end table in Norway, but he was a standout. I mean, I'm talking against guys like Rosenborg, Bodo Glimt. He was beating players for fun. He's quick, he's fast, and he can score goals. So he would be an excellent signing, I think, for us. I have heard something about 7-8 million euros has been mentioned. A lot of money for a player from Norway, but if it's not us, there'll be another team that will take him, because I don't think.
I think as William as well. I think he can, just the way I look at him, he just looks like a carbon copy of Jota coming off the left. The way he can just eliminate people, and he has that kind of pace as well.
Yeah, he's inverted. He's inverted, so he plays with his right foot. One thing I would say, I'd probably say he's a bit one-footed in terms of coming out his right foot, and does a similar sort of move as you would expect Kuhn or someone to do. But he wants to get one-on-one with players. Like tonight, he would run amok in this game tonight. If
I know.
Players. So if we get
a better Norwegian than Thiago Holm.
What's that?
Yeah.
As long as he's a better Norwegian than Thiago Holm.
Well, the thing is as well, he's as P. McLaughlin says, he's actually been compared to a very young Arjen Robben, but right-footed instead of left-footed.
The same frame, as P. McLaughlin said, he's got the same frame as Arjen Robben. He's athletically built, he's tall, but he's got a good right foot on him. Like, he can score goals, but he can beat players. So I think that would be really
for fun.
Yeah, that would be a really good signing. If we get him and Tierney in, I'd be quite happy with that. As I say, that I've touched on the striker, but I appreciate that it's very, very difficult to do at this time of year. But listen, Kenny might get an opportunity. You never know. If Ida's not doing it, he might bring Kenny on a couple of games. He might take the advantage of it. You know, take his chance.
Yeah, made a wee comment in from, I think it was Addy. He asked, who's out the door first? I think it was Addy. I'm not sure. I can't seem to see the comment. I think he said, who'd be out the door first? Johnny Kenny or Danny Cummings?
Who'd be out the door in terms of selling?
Aye, so who would be leaving Celtic first?
I've heard the boy Cummings is pretty good, to be fair, but I don't know, is he not agreeing a deal or something at the minute? Is that right?
There it's there, it is Addy. Addy Oladipo. He says, who will be first to go, Johnny Kenny or Daniel Cummings? In my opinion, I'll answer this quickly, just because of where they are just now in terms of their readiness to play. I think Daniel Cummings will go before Johnny Kenny does.
I think I picked up that Daniel Cummings has not agreed a new deal, and I think there's potential he'll go down south. So I think it'll be Daniel Cummings as well. I'm pretty sure I've read that. I think Johnny Kenny's going to be here. I think Johnny Kenny's got an opportunity to take advantage of the downturn in Ida's form and maybe get a wee opportunity in a couple of games. So it's up to him whether he takes that opportunity or not.
Yep, Alan, obviously your wee take on that.
You'd like to keep both of them. They're obviously young players that were here and have got potential. I've not seen a great deal of kind of Kenny at present, but what we have seen, I've been slightly confident that he looks half decent. We'd need to see him for kind of a prolonged period of time, but and Cummins has obviously got the goal scoring record going through this season. It's something like 24 goals in 24 games or something.
Yeah.
Obviously that's at a far lower level, but you look at the young players that have left us now. Rocco Vata's kind of ripping it up in the championship, and he's scored worldies for fun.
But I'm not winning. He's scoring the goals in games they're still getting beaten.
You're looking at Ben Doak as well. That's obviously his career's in a massive upward curve. So it's always not very nice when you see your kind of players that come through Lennoxtown and come through the youth system if they move on, and we're either not seeing them much in the first team, or we're not getting the financial benefit of selling them on for what they're actually worth, because they're just leaving after they signed the deal. So I think we should be doing everything in our power to kind of try and tie down more decent youth prospects, and if they don't make it in the first team, then we've got a contract and we can at least kind of benefit financially from them.
I think those two examples, sorry JP, just to touch on.
No, I was actually just going to say to you, what were you going to say there?
No, it's fine, mate. To touch on both Rocco Vata and Ben Doak, I think you need to take a look at it from, or people need to take a look at it from the player's perspective is, am I going to play here? You know, and they weren't going to play here. Rocco Vata was in about amongst the team a wee bit. Ben Dolt was in about the team a wee bit, but they weren't getting consistent games. And then you look at the difference of them. Obviously, Ben Dolt going to Liverpool, getting a loan move, doing amazingly because he's playing every week. Rocco Vata going down to Watford, as you said, probably not the best side, JP, but he's playing every week. And look at the massive improvement in their performances and their abilities because they're just playing at a good level every single week. And that's a problem. That's a problem Celtic need to solve because I think we spend a lot of money on our academy. I don't know how many million it probably is that we spend on the academy every single year. And we're finding these players, we're developing these players to a point, like you said, Alan, we're not getting the full benefit of them getting out of the first team and maybe selling them like we've done with McGeady and selling for 10 million to Spartak Moscow. You know, we're losing them for compensation fee agreements, maybe £1 million. It doesn't even cover the academy costs. I think that's one thing that I would like to see change at Celtic, that we try and give them a pathway into the team. How we do that, I don't know. It would need to be looked at on different levels because obviously we're trying to compete at Champions League level, but there's got to be a player pathway to say to players, maybe 1 or 2 a year, getting in the first team squad and then giving them some games over the course of the season. Obviously easier said than done, given different things, different factors are obviously involved in it. But you look at those 2 players, those are 2 prime examples that would definitely do a job for us and would be good for us.
Yeah, well, we might think we'll need to get you back on. We'll go through a youth kind of type podcast.
Aye, anytime, mate.
We'll do a kind of youth podcast. We'll have a look into that in a bit of depth because I'm really wanting to take on that because I really think there's a lot of kids just seem to, you look at it's been in the comments, you know, I mean, Ben Dokes, he's absolutely flying at Middlesbrough. Is it our coaching? Is there something, like you says, is it something that we can, is it something we're not doing as a coaches, maybe not up to it?
It's the B-League, no fit for purpose, I'd probably say.
That is well, Alan, but you know, they're not getting tested week in and week out as well, but it's like I've says, I know, I mean, folk are saying, you know, about young lads coming into the team and stuff. First and foremost, you need to be at a level where you can succeed. Because if you come into the team, you could be absolutely murdered within a game or 2. And I'm talking about your basic games against Ross County and Dundee at Celtic Park. I'm not even talking about going in against Atalanta or Dortmund or Leipzig or any of those kind of teams. That's a different level entirely. Mm-hmm. You know, we've saw it through the years, McGeady, Maloney, but they were absolute quality. Mm-hmm. These boys had it in abundance, but they were also playing in a reserve league that they were nurtured through, playing against guys like Paul Lambert, who were coming back for injury, and playing against guys at Motherwell, like Scott Leach, who was coming back for injury, and guys that were just going to leather you as a young boy. They're getting into this Lowland League, and no disrespect to any level of football at all, but they can't beat like civil service strollers every week. They're struggling to beat these teams.
Yeah,
Celtic have the best facilities. They're training every day, these young lads. They're in training with the first team. Some of them are handpicked and selected to go and train with the first team. Then they're getting shipped out to teams out on loan. And we never see them again. So no, I do think William will maybe need to get you back on. But before we divulge any more into youth setup or anything like that, I'm going to ask you 2 lads. I'll start with you, Alan, for tonight's team.
I'm right to say that it's same as the weekend, I think. Schmeichel, John Still, Carter Vickers, Trusty, Taylor, Cal McGregor, Hatate, Engels, Kuhn, Maida and Kyogo, and 3-0 Celtic, I'll say.
Oof. Here we go. He's putting scores on and all, William. Here we go. What about yourself, William?
I'm going to, that's the exact team I would go with, mate. I think having Hatate, McGregor and Engels in the middle of the park will definitely help us really take advantage of the agility we've spoken about with young boys. And I'm going to go 4-0 Celtic. We
comment there from the man there. He says, would you give McKeown some time in the past? I think you'll get that anyway. He'll be one of the subs that does come on tonight, yeah. So
he'll get minutes, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. I'm going to obviously need to agree. I think that'll be the team tonight. I think it'll be Schmeichel, Johnson, Carter Vickers, Trusty, Taylor, McGregor, Hatate, Engels, Maeda, Kyogo and Kuhn. But what I will say is if I was a manager, Mr. Hatate would be on a severe warning give the ball away more than 3 times in the first half, son, you're getting whipped half to sit beside me for the rest of the season.
I thought he
You
done
can't be
well
doing
on the
that.
weekend
You
there.
can't
I
be
know we
doing that at
disagreed
that
on that,
level.
but I thought he done really well on the weekend.
No, Alan, I thought he did. No, Alan, I thought he did, but there's elements he has playmate that worry me. They give me the fear. And he kind of reminds me of Encham. So usually now you're looking for a tatty, and usually with his first touch of the ball, you go, boom, he's on this today.
Yeah.
Encham is the exact same.
I would agree with you, mate. I would agree with you.
He's that kind of player that's risk and reward, isn't it? He obviously makes risky passes, which if they don't work out, they look silly passes and they look as if he's getting the ball away. But when they do work out, it looks like, oh, look at this world class player.
No, 100%, Alan. I do agree with you that way in terms of he takes that risky pass. But what I would say now, what I've seen him, even the guys that sit around about me at Celtic Park, they've all kind of agreed with me. Recently, the bad is starting to outweigh the good with Rio Watati. He's now starting to drift away from games more than he's actually been involved. At the weekend, there's probably the best I've seen him in weeks. And I mean, in terms of his energy, his input, what he was doing in the game, running when he's no get the ball. Because there's been games where William, this season, we've seen it, mate, he's just chucked it.
Aye, there's been moments in games that I can remember back. Was it maybe the Bruges game? Tried to half turn our own third, giving the ball away.
Yeah.
I agree with Alan. It is risk and reward with Rio Watati. I think Brendan encourages him to take the risky options because it can really help us get up the field or create a goal or even score a goal. I think he does encourage it, but I think Rio Watati just needs to improve the decision making in terms of rather than take that half turn, play a pass back to Greg Taylor or play a pass back to Carter Vickers or whoever, and then turn and move away. I think sometimes when he tries to do the fancy thing and gives it away, it does make him look really bad. So I think he's went down and his performance level was up, and it started dipping again. He's just got to find that again and just obviously keep playing and obviously keep doing the simple things right. Yeah.
Plunger's asking there, he says, is Hatate the only one that gives the ball away? No, he's not. No, he's not. But he's the one that does it when he's under no pressure. And he just, like William says, he just turns and looks. It's as if he just looks and goes, boom, into it. Maeda does it as well. Ryan's pointed it out on here. Maeda does it as well. And it's aimless to nothing. He done it against Aberdeen, by the way, and it cost us a goal. From the wide position, coming into the... I think we were dropping in the pitch, so he was coming into left full-back position with the ball because there was nothing on for him to play. He was looking for a bounce pass to then go again, but that wasn't on. So he had to come back into the left full-back position. He passes the ball into midfield, and that's how Aberdeen score. The ball goes right to the boy McGrath, and he sets Sockler through the line. So Maeda does it as well. It's no. By the way, I've asked the question a few times, and I've actually said, William, I'm really starting to maybe see, and a lot of Celtic fans were asking a while ago, how's Rio Watati not playing with Japan? Maybe his indeficiencies there, and there's other boys in there, guys like Mitoma, who're playing at a good level with Brighton, and there's other boys in there that are maybe just that wee bit ahead of Rio just now because of
Japan
the amount of mistakes he can make.
Yeah, Japan have got a good squad at the minute. Like Endo's obviously at Liverpool doing really well.
Yeah.
Mitoma, they've got a really good midfield in there. But like you said, it could be that's what the Japanese manager looks at and says it's too risky for me. It could be that with Rio Watati. So again, like I think he's going to improve. I think he's going to get better, and I think he will get better at Celtic. But just some silly mistakes at times. But as you said, sometimes he plays that maybe it's own confidence. He'll play that one amazing pass and then he's unplayable. But then he'll make a mistake and then it's like he makes 2 or 3 mistakes right off the back yet.
It's that one at Aberdeen. The ball with Greg. That's what I was just about to say there, Alan. It's that one at Aberdeen. Greg Taylor fizzes it into him. He's got to take a touch in order to set himself, but it's the way he hits it in a half volley.
Technique, aye, yeah.
Frightening. But there is that side to Rio Watati that we all love. But yeah, and I do think, I'm being honest here, at this level tonight, if Hatate continues on this path of giving the ball away and doing we all don't want to see it. But I do think Brendan will take him out the team if it's going to be a growing concern. I think Brendan will have him out that team because there's boys like Bernardo, McCown, they're all chat my doors if we're ready to take telling you, I hope I'll be there in attendance tonight, and I'll be singing his praises if that is the case, because I've no liked a lot of the way he's getting jumped on by a lot of the Celtic fans and what I've saw. But I've been at the games live and you're watching, and obviously you learn things when Williams on doing what he's done today and the wee bit of analysis, and you're now looking at things differently when you watch a game. And I've watched him, Alan, just running, jogging, chucking it, and you're like, that can't happen, son. Get a rocket up your backside and get back in here and help us when we're trying to defend. So if he's man of the match tonight, by the way, I'll be first on in the next podcast to put my hands up and say, well done, me man. Congratulations on a great performance. And that's all we're looking for, basically. The team just to turn up one more, I don't want to say one more time this season, but turn up tonight, give us really something to go home and chant about for days to come, because if the scoreline is similar to what Alan says, or even more, then William, I think that's going to be even a Bratislava scoreline. I think that's going to be a great night for us, mate.
Yeah, hopefully, mate. That's what we're hoping for. Let's get the 3 points. If we do it in style, fantastic. I think we will do it in style, to be honest. So let's hope we can get it done tonight. Definitely.
Yeah, 100%. I want to say a massive thanks to yourself, William, for coming on and obviously taking the time beforehand, mate, to do the video analysis and stuff that you've done. And obviously the photo analysis, the way they set up and stuff, it's been brilliant, mate.
No, that's good. I hope everyone's enjoyed that. Obviously done it a wee bit differently today, obviously for other reasons, but hopefully gives everyone an insight into young boys. And hopefully we can do the business. But
yeah, we commenting off your Liz Donnelly. Hope your back's better today, JP. Yeah, I'm moving a bit more freely, Liz. Thank you. It's amazing what deep feet and a good stretch can do for you. Yeah, I'm feeling a wee bit more less painful and a bit more energetic to do things. So thank you. Alan, cheers for your time this morning, mate. It's been good chatting to you again.
As always. Thanks for you for coming on and
no worries, mate.
Putting us to shame. Kidding on. No, and sharing your expertise, shall we say, no, let's hope we get a positive result and performance tonight. I think that's what I said the other night. All the kind of Celtic fans are screaming out, no, a kind of 20 minutes of good football, first half of good football, etc. What a complete performance tonight. We know we're capable of it. That'll give us the confidence to kick on. I think this is probably the perfect game for that to happen. You know, it's going to be the atmosphere at Celtic Park, you know, but the opposition are well within our grasp to pick up the 3 points and do it comfortably if we play at our best. So I think this is the optimum kind of time for us to kind of get that performance levels back to where we know they should be and where we showed they were at the first half of the season, basically. Well, the first half of the season, so first quarter, before the Leipzig game. So, I'm pretty confident going into tonight, and let's hope we're smiling and the next time we're on the podcast.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're very welcome, mate. Thanks for joining us, and thanks to everybody else that's come on and also joined us. And just as Paddy Power says there, remember and like and share the channel. It's totally free. It also helps us to bring the content out to you guys. Just before we go, I did have it on the running bar earlier. There is 34 balls still available in our bonus ball. So if anybody wants to take part, it is for this fantastic piece here. It is a signed and framed Joe Miller Celtic top from 1989. There's Joe's signature on the shirt there. You get a wee photo with Joe with the cup. And a nice wee plaque there for you as well. And then it has the certificate of COA on the back. So just to let you know, it was donated by a friend of our sponsor, Mr. Alec Beveridge. Anybody that's want to take part in the bonus ball, all you have to do is pay your money, which is £5 a ball, and it goes into that PayPal account that's on the screen just now, ryanclifford9@aol.co.uk. So, best of luck to the winner, and let's get more of these involved, and hopefully you can have your opportunity. And when it's full, when there's no more available, we will do what we always do and do a live draw for that. So, yeah, good wee piece for anybody that's a memorabilia collector. And it was, like it says, it was very kindly donated to us. So, yeah, thank you for that. Anybody that's going to the game tonight, please enjoy. Wrap up well. It might be a bit cold. It was getting cold last night. I went outside with some rubbish for the outside bins and it was freezing about 9:30 last night. So I would imagine at that time tonight it was going to be the same.
JP.
I know, mate. I know. I need to stop doing that. Need to stop.
Tell you that you can't go out in your birthday suit.
I know. I need to stop doing that, mate. I know, definitely. Do you know what it's probably been? I know I've not done any neighbours complaining, so that's probably why I'm just a date for quickness as well. I've got a cheek to put flip flops on. I know. I've got a cheek to put flip flops on. It's not that. See when I come back in, see, because it's that cold, she's got to spray me down with WD-40. Get my old joints not moving again. But no, it's been a good chat today, guys. Thank you very much for taking the time, everybody. And we will see you all again on the next one. Take care. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail.